Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new week, day 23 of Lent, 40 days of change. So here we are, over halfway through, and we've finally arrived at prayer and fasting. Lent, for many people, is viewed as a time of sacrifice, a time of fasting that might be giving up food, giving up, which is something obviously incredibly necessary, although maybe not to the extent sometimes we consume it. I can vouch for that over this last lockdown. Perhaps it's giving up a luxury, maybe your favourite food or your favourite TV program that you just have to watch every day. Maybe you just forego something else, everybody's foregoing visiting their favourite places, so you could say, you're fasting from going to the cinema or something else, but I don't think that really counts this time. But in the New Testament, we see that it isn't just about giving up stuff, but it's coupled with prayer. When with the New Testament, when it talks about fasting, it's together with prayer. And often it's for specific purposes. We will look at fasting itself later this week, but as the context is prayer, and I want you to see that, I want really to start here. So in the context of a devoted life, a life that's devoted to following Jesus, a life that's full of challenges, that's full of ups and downs, full of good times and full of dark places, we'll find that prayer is an essential ingredient. It's maybe the most essential ingredient in the recipe for successful Christian living. This is a quote from Billy Graham, probably the greatest evangelist, certainly of modern times, the 20th century, no question. Said this: "The Christian life is not a constant high. I have my moments of deep discouragement. I have to go to God in prayer with tears in my eyes and say, 'Oh God, forgive me or help me.'" Paul writes something to the Thessalonians about prayer, and he says this in 1 Thessalonians 5. It says, pray, in some translations it says, pray without ceasing. In others it will say, never stop praying. That's what Paul writes to the Thessalonians. This is at the end of his very important letter to them, and he's just given a few pithy things at the back, but never stop praying. Pray without ceasing. Didn't need to use many words for it. I guess they'd understood by now what prayer was about and how valuable it was to them. But he encouraged them. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't do anything. You spend 24/7 praying. It doesn't mean that we go in some religious pose or some meditative pose or something, or whatever, some vacant look or expression. Doesn't mean that you blank off and shut your mind off of everything. No, it doesn't actually. It means that you engage with God. Prayer is talking to God. Prayer is communication with God. When we pray, we talk to God and we say, God, I don't understand why this is happening. I haven't got a clue, but I love you. I want to be faithful. Help me through this, Lord. Help me in this. Help me to understand. Help me, Lord, to continue to trust. I know whatever the circumstance might be, you've got a need through the day. You don't need to save it up and wait until or set time for prayer, because you have a set time for prayer. It's not like a sort of some religions that have set times of prayer, and that's when you pray, and that's what it's all about, being there at set times in set places. No, you just pray and talk to God wherever you are, every moment of the day, wherever you are, driving your car, taking the kids to school, cooking lunch, whatever it might be. You can just talk with God, tell him what's on your heart. If you've got any problem, if a problem's not worth, somebody once said, if a problem's not worth praying about, then it's not worth worrying about, you know. So if you've got any issue, you take it to prayer. And so we mustn't relegate prayer just to slots in our day. Now, it's great to have certain times that we set aside to pray, and maybe a certain time every day when you know it's going to be easier to do that. But prayer should be a constant communication with God, with something we never switch off from. You know, we don't say, right, okay, I'm going to pray, therefore I better go and have a shower and like you know, do my hair. As you said, it's not much point now, is it, in lockdown? And, you know, get myself prepared because I'm going to pray. No, you just like talk to God because it's prayer, you know. Maybe when you're going on a first date, you did all that. But once you're in a relationship, you know, you don't take it for granted, but you don't have to do all those preliminaries to start and to make yourself feel comfortable. You just talk to one another. So do that. Sure, there are times when we get alone, yeah, and when we spend it concentrating on prayer. But like you have your cell phone constantly with you, you should be constantly in touch with God. So that is our first thing. We're going to look a bit more at prayer over the next few days. So God bless you. Have a great day, and look forward to connecting with you tomorrow.